I said I was going to do a review on Top Gun Maverick, but I just saw Thor Love and Thunder, and I'd like to share my thoughts while also chewing a piece of gum. Okay, so Thor Love and Thunder is definitely going to be a very divisive film amongst fans. And I say that because it's got elements that work and elements that do not work for this character and for just Marvel movies in general. I think that some of the humor in it is good, but there are definitely parts that are kind of annoying. And it's like, it's supposed to be like obnoxious and stuff, but it's like an overused running gag that it's funny the first time, but the more that you hear it, the more distracting it is, and the more it will just cause you to want to turn it off because you're so tired of hearing it. I won't really get into it because I kind of want this to be like a non-spoiler review. And the thing is that while I did enjoy my experience with the film, I still left the theater kind of feeling like something is missing, something is lacking in this film. That, like, I had the same problem with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness with. There's almost this, like, disconnection between the stories that, like, I don't know, it's just making everything feel kind of hollow. And I think that, like, after the spectacular film that was No Way Home, we as fans expect for everything to be like that. And with Multiverse of Madness, I felt like it had a huge chip on its shoulder because it had to live up to those expectations, especially with multiverse in the name. I remember, like, the theories and the rumor mill going off like crazy, and people just being really, really excited for that film because it said it was going to deliver on something. And while I do think that it did deliver on some things, it definitely did not feel like the same movie as the first one. And I know they're not supposed to be, but the first one just had so much going for it in comparison. And I think the same thing can be said for Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. This one just kind of felt like it was trying to be a comedy all throughout. And I felt like at some points it didn't need it to be there. Like, it almost tries to distract you from the serious tones of certain situations, and I feel like you can't really feel all that much for some of the characters because it's just not like, how do I put it? It's just not like something you would do. Like, I think they're trying to make light out of certain situations that are pretty dark tones in here in the film. And while it is funny sometimes, at other points you kind of want for this emotional connection to a character. And I feel like by making too many jokes, you kind of lose that connection. Like, I think that's why No Way Home works so well is because it had slight humor, but when it came down to really serious tone and dark moments in the film, you actually felt the grief for, and you were empathetic for the character, and you had sympathy for the situation that they were going through. Like, especially when Aunt May died, you almost wanted to cry with Peter because this was like a mother figure to him. And for him to just lose her, even after losing Tony Stark, it was like a father figure to him. You really felt for him, and you really could relate almost to what he was going through. That loss is powerful. And it feels like in this, loss is kind of like glossed over by just trying to, I guess, make light of something, make it a humorous thing. And it just felt like there wasn't really any stakes. I think that that was another thing. It doesn't feel like there's repercussion for anything, which is really important to have in a film, because the characters need a direction. And while yes, Thor does get a direction, it kind of just felt rushed, and it kind of just felt like really loosely thrown together. I mean, I get it with the film's title, it works, but I wish that it worked a little bit better than it did. It just kind of felt like random. Really random. And, I don't know. Overall, I'd give the movie a 7 out of 10, but, like I said, it's just missing something, and I can't really put my finger on it, what it is. But, yeah, I think that it suffers from the same thing that the limited series suffer from, which is that they're trying to put a story together, and they're trying to do it in a a short amount of time. And I'm sure that if there was an extended cut of this, because there was many conversations about scenes that were chopped and they were left on the cutting room floor, but hopefully we get to see that extended cut, because that sounds like that would maybe change my overall experience of it. And another friend did say to me, because in that same day I did finally watch Shawshank Redemption, which is a movie that was it was on my bucket list for years, and I finally watched it, and that film was spectacular. It was so good. That film was an absolute 9 out of 10. But what my friend had told me was, he said that he thinks I maybe didn't enjoy Love and Thunder all that much because of the fact that I had just watched that. And he said that maybe I was expecting for cinema to just live up to those expectations. And maybe he's right. Maybe I was expecting for something to be as good as the film I had just watched. And, yeah, maybe I just have to lower my expectations for Marvel movies going forward, though. And just maybe Marvel programming in general. Because I liked Moon Knight in the beginning, and then when it just came to the ending, it just fell flat for me because it was so rushed. They rushed the ending so quickly. And, yeah. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that really enjoy the Marvel programming and everything that they're doing, and someone's probably going to tell me in the comments, oh, you're just a hater or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not. I'm a fan. And as a fan, I'm realizing that there really isn't, there isn't a cohesive story here between these films. The thing with connected story, really big connected story. And so each film felt like they were part of that. They were leading to this giant team up that would, be the culmination of all the films. They were all leading to it. And I feel like you would think that with something, with the multiverse stuff, you'd think that there's some type of connection from Loki to Doctor Strange to Spider-Man. You think there's something there. But, they just, all their adventures kind of just open and close, It doesn't feel like someone's actions in a previous film affect another in the next. Because at the end of the day, they just always seem resolved. And I think that, they're struggling really with telling this story. I mean, maybe there's hints and pieces and stuff that we're not paying attention to, or myself specifically, maybe I'm not paying attention to certain things in a story, or these films that are hints and pieces at what's next. But from what I remember, at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, we see that the Skrulls are invading. So I think that they're going for, the secret invasion storyline. But nothing else kind of really, how about this? Nothing really else connected to that. So, it's just weird. And we just keep introducing new characters too, which I'm like, oh cool, I can't wait for them to show up in the movie. And then we have to wait years apart for them to actually make their appearance or something like that, when they should just be in the next movie or something, you know what I mean? It's just odd for you to just continue to make a story that only really affects a certain character and not everyone else. I don't know. We're at 13, we're about to be on 13 minutes here, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'd say for sure, watch the movie, watch Thor: Love and Thunder on your own, base your own opinion, don't listen to me. It's just how I felt about it. Maybe others will agree, maybe others will disagree, and that's fine. But like I said, I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. It was a 7.5. But as I thought about it more, my score lessened. Maybe when I watch it again, I'll have a different opinion, and maybe I'll make an update to this. But for right now, that's what I'm sticking to. So, this is Blitz. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And